another episode of M-Class Email.
Hi, I'm also here.
I'm Jeff.
Yeah, I'm also Jeff.
Holy shit!
It's me, Jeff number 2.
There's
but
two Jeffs?
I'm from the evil universe.
Oh god.
I love farting on art instead of making it.
I love fart instead of art.
Art. Oh, that's how evil I am.
Tell everyone your name, motherfucker.
I'm Josh.
He just lied to everybody about who he was.
They knew.
What a liar.
We're the ones who do the podcast, M-Class podcast, but this is a kind of a different episode. It's the one where we listen to your emails.
Yeah, we decided to make a spin-off podcast just for emails because our podcast was going to be 6 hours long. If we
A
did
spin-off with the same characters, like all successful spin-offs.
We spun off from Cheers. That's where we're originally from.
Better than being like Joey. Remember when Joey had his own show? I think it was called Joey.
It was just called Joey.
Ugh.
Remember the guy from Friends you loved? Well, here he is again, but fat.
Remember the guy from Friends you loved? Well, this one's the other guy.
Chandler's the good one.
Chanandler Bong.
Chanandler Bong.
That is about my extent of knowledge of that show.
God, I watched probably too much Friends because it was always on TBS.
It was on TBS a lot, yeah.
So anytime I couldn't find anything on TV, I just leave it on there and do something else.
Yeah, there was a couple of years there when I got Netflix and like there was not a whole lot on Netflix, but I think Friends was on there.
It's a good time sink.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever, I'll just put it on. I don't give a fuck.
Sometimes it was funny.
Sometimes I was like, all right, this is all right. I'm not a Gen Xer though, so whatever. I don't get half of these jokes.
I didn't understand any of it. I was like, coffee?
Smelly cat. What happened in
boning all your friends?
What happened to 9/11?
Oh no!
They just whitewashed over 9/11.
It didn't happen. That's what they should have put in their funny fucking sitcom. 9/11. Let's read some of your emails, folks.
Oh yeah.
Our first email is from Colin Brady.
Hi, Tom Brady's brother, Colin Brady.
He says, "Hey, Trek boys."
I will not Trek boys for Tom Brady's brother. I'm just kidding. Trek boys.
He actually spelled it with like spaces between every letter, so I don't know how to pronounce that.
It's like he's a robot, I think. Yeah.
Short question. What events in the Star Trek timeline, be it major, like First Contact, or minor, Irish reunification, do you think are most likely to actually occur? Fingers crossed, thermonuclear war isn't one of them.
Can I pick that one?
That is the one that's most likely to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, the European Union already happened, and they do have they talk about a European Union. Like, that already happened, so...
The Bell Riots?
The Bell Riots are going on right now, pretty much everywhere. So
I would say that's the most likely to actually happen, the Bell Riots.
They were remarkably close on that date, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, real fucking close.
Like, the rest of the dates in Star Trek are, like, way out of whack. Like, in the 1990s, there was, like, a fucking, like...
The eugenics war.
Yeah, eugenics war and shit, which maybe
there was.
We just didn't know about.
Yeah, maybe we didn't know about it, though, yeah.
But, yeah, the Bell Riots are my choice for that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to go with that one. And then nuclear war is the next one.
World War III is probably going to happen, I'm afraid.
Yeah, sorry, guys. But then we get Zeph from Cochrane, so whatever. Or we're all dead. I don't know.
Well, we'll be dead long before it, so...
I mean, either way, like, fuck it.
Thanks for writing in, Colin.
Great question.
Thanks for just depressing us all.
Which do you think is most likely to happen? Everyone gets a blowjob or we're all dead? We're going to go with all dead.
Being as I'm an optimist, I'm going to go with all dead.
A dead blowjob. Oh, ew.
Oh.
Who would do that? Ew.
I'm gonna go on record and say that I'm not affiliated with this man.
I was thinking more of like a Ray Stans dead blowjob.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm affiliated with him again.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about like blowing a dead guy.
I'm sure he wasn't, everybody.
I would though to prevent World War III, just so you know.
That's good. I'll keep that in mind if that comes up.
I'm the hero you all need.
It's the guy right there.
So he'll blow a dead guy and stop World War III.
Our next email is from Thomas,
Hi.
who says...
Thomas
hey,
Riker?
Yeah, Thomas Riker.
Oh, sweet.
He says, hey, Trek butts.
Okay.
It's your listener who lives in Kentucky. I'm sorry.
That's really funny, actually. It's your listener that lives in Kentucky. That's pretty good.
All one of them.
They got them podcasts down there now.
I've been to Lexington a few times. It's actually pretty nice, especially compared to most of the rest of the state.
You've told me about Lexington.
Lexington looks like it's under construction, like all of it.
Yeah. That's good, I guess. At least they're trying.
Yeah, they're building it up. Anyway, here are a few pitch it or ditch it's.
Oh, shit.
We're jumping straight into Boston Sean Dupree's pitch it or ditch it.
We're contractually obligated to say that.
Yeah. I feel like I just want to give him credit every time because he's the one who came
No, I think
up
it's
with
fair. Yeah, it's totally fair. I agree.
it. Question 1. Kess remains on Voyager. Ditch it.
Pass. No thanks.
I guess in the interest of fairness, we'll continue this.
Sure.
Kess remains on Voyager after 7 of 9 joins the show, and we eventually see her die a natural death, as her people only lived to be 9 years old.
Yeah.
And she was already around the age of 3 when the show started. We get to see the crew react to the tragedy in their own ways, with some characters being understanding, while others struggle to accept it, since to them, 9 years seems like an incredibly small amount of time.
All right, this is winning me over.
Yeah. It's possible even Kess herself may feel this way after spending more time with the Voyager crew than with her own people, and becoming accustomed to the ways of understanding life, including the understanding of the amount of time a person has to live.
Nice. All right.
I think I'm going to
Pitch
pitch this one.
That's actually really good. You
That's
pulled it out there.
That's a topic that Star Trek doesn't broach all that often. Like
Not too much.
natural death
Yeah.
and accepting your time has come.
Yeah, somebody's always putting their Katra inside something or downloading their brain inside of their robot brother or some shit like that.
I'm always trying to put my Katra in something, dog.
You can put your Katra in my anti-Katra.
What? Excuse
I don't know.
me?
What is it?
Butt?
What's the Yeah, that's what I meant. Thank you.
2, the crew in TNG decide to sit down and watch old American cartoons while on break. Gargoyles comes on, and everyone begins to look at each other nervously while they hear their voices speaking through cartoon characters.
They wouldn't be looking at themselves nervously. They would be like, cha-ching! I made a lot of money by doing 2 hours worth of work.
Nah, I mean, fucking Riker was on every episode of Gargoyles almost.
Yeah, he's like the
villain.
bad guy.
Yeah, Xanatos.
Xanathos, Xanatar, Mentos,
You're close. You're close.
Zanzibar.
Xanatos, the fresh maker.
Bring in the Photoshops.
Could you imagine fucking like... Just, could you imagine just hearing your voice coming out of a cartoon? Like you've never seen it before and you're just like, what the fuck? This
When did
just
I
like
do
me.
this? Yeah, that'd be weird.
It'd be extra weird if like my friends' voices started coming out of the other characters.
Yeah, I'd be like, when did we do this? I have no memory of this.
Oh my god. Those aliens that wipe your memory and switch your body parts around came back, but they just recorded a cartoon instead.
The Alachi.
Wow, you remember the name?
I know the name because I'm smart.
Oh my god, Josh is smart, everybody.
They don't give them the name, I don't think, in the show. You have to find that out later.
Oh.
It's a mystery.
Ditch it, I guess.
Yeah, ditch it. I don't want to watch them watch that. I want to watch them watch other stuff.
I got enough of Star Trek characters knowing about the 90s in Voyager. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we saw what happened there. It was a disaster.
Had Sarah Silverman in it for some reason.
Not bad though. Pretty good.
She was very pretty in that episode. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, she's a looker, I think.
Yeah, I guess it snuck up on me. Anyway,
Funny and attractive. Woo!
what a combination. Women can be funny? No, I'm joking, everybody.
You gotta tell them. You have to tell them, or they won't.
Yeah, people would be like, wow, Jeff's a fucking sexist.
I mean, I like to think we talk about things and our opinion is well known on this show, but you guys still,
we've caught a little bit of flack recently about opinions on this show, but fuck that person.
for I would say for a good reason though. Like I'll take that flack because like we're right.
Yeah, exactly. As always. Anyway,
Yeah, like how we always are. So
Pitch It or Dish It 3.
oh wow, 3.
During one of the data transfers that happens between Voyager and the Federation in later episodes, someone at the Federation sends them another copy of the EMH. They want Voyager to study it alongside the Doctor as a part of a study on how holograms can grow, or something along those lines.
So you get like a double episode. You get with like the same actor and the same shot trick.
Yeah, which is always done very well in TV.
It's never not been done poorly.
Yes.
I don't know. That's all right. I like that. That's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, you gotta. That's like a B plot. I think you gotta have.
Yeah, there's got to be
with stakes happen.
There something needs to be happening, and then like the EMH like helps them solve it, but then like sacrifices himself or something like that.
Or he
like
maybe
that
he
would
like
be.
learns a lesson and
Yeah,
like grows to be human like a little bit more, like
little
in
bit more.
way that's different than the Doctor. So they're like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
maybe the Doctor, because the Doctor's kind of like selfish.
Yeah.
Maybe he learns how to be not selfish. Interesting.
How interesting.
Oh, how interesting.
Thanks for writing in, though. Appreciate that.
Thank
email.
you. I have a question. It says in an email, but do you think John Larroquette would sue us if we put his face on a shirt? Probably,
Yeah,
right?
he definitely would.
Yeah.
That's
fucking-
why I want to do him as a Klingon on a shirt.
That would be great. That would be so great. In the same pose.
in the
Oh my
same
God.
exact pose with like how
I would buy
interesting written under.
I would buy a fucking hoodie of that shit in 2 seconds. I'm not even kidding. I'd buy a zipper hoodie. It's like $50,
It's
dude.
real fucking expensive.
Buy all the hoodies though.
Yeah. We have shirts, everybody. We got M Class Podcast shirt. We got Shirt It
Yeah.
shirt. We have Trek Boy shirts. Buy them.
Best commercial ever.
That's what I want all commercials to end with. Just somebody pointing
got-
right at the screen going, buy them.
You're like a Saturday night like public access guy. We got M Class shirts. We got shirted shirts. We got Trek Boy shirt. Buy them. Come down to Jeff's Shirt Emporium and the highway of New Jersey Turnpike, exit 5.
Come on down to Crazy Jeff's Shirt Emporium.
We're so crazy. We're buying the shirts from you.
We got prices so low that they're not even competitive anymore.
We're going out of business again.
I don't know why, but we're losing profits. Our next email
Great segue.
is from Sam,
Hi,
who starts the email with Trek Boys.
Trek Boys.
It's like with a period behind it and everything. Trek Boys.
How proper.
After hearing you guys talk about cartoons on the Code of Honor episode, I wanted to ask, what would you think about an animated Star Trek series? I know there's already one, but animated
Yeah.
is a generous term for that show. It's great Star Trek, but the tight 70s cartoon budget kept it from being much more than a bunch of tight shots
like-
on Kirk's
yeah.
immaculate gob.
It's like anime, right? Like they recycle like shots, and it's like all fucking like cheap and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the difference between like it's like the between shots in anime where it's just people standing and talking.
They're just standing, yeah.
But there's
yeah.
no action shots where it's all fluid and looks good like anime does.
Right. It's the like budget anime,
Yeah,
not the like
it's standard
actual.
Hanna-Barbera animation
Yeah,
where the characters
exactly.
just move their neck and head and nothing else.
Zoinks! I would love a Star Trek show like the Clone Wars, like if it was
God.
like that. Oh my god!
He brings
I would
that
love
up, actually. If Mr. In Charge of Star Trek at the moment put you in charge of a brand new Star Trek series, what would you want to do with it? Would you want it to be a new story with new characters, or would you want to follow the framework of a previous series?
it. New Star Trek with new characters, but set after TNG.
You know, that almost happened.
That would be great.
They had this idea to do a completely new Star Trek series. I think it was like near the end of the 90s or like early 2000s. And it was going to be animated, and it looked 90s extreme as fuck. So I'm glad it
man.
didn't happen.
Neon outfits, everyone.
It's like, I don't know. It looked like Todd McFarlane designed the characters.
Oh my god! I mean, I gotta see this.
It's a lot of spiky hair and like
Yeah, it's 90s.
yeah, it's very 90s. But
Yeah, I would do a new crew, and I would set it after TNG.
I would
sure.
do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I think I would tick all those like diversity boxes
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
and give like everybody a character they could like. They
yeah.
would want in Star Trek, because I mean, an animated cast can be larger than a live action cast because you can make people so like wildly different looking and with like much more pronounced
You can just draw
personalities.
it. Yeah.
And that way like audiences can keep track of a larger cast that
Yeah.
way. I still
Yep.
probably wouldn't have more characters than like maybe like 10 main like characters that interact a lot with the story.
I would like a woman captain who's more like what's his name? Captain Mean Man from
Jellicoe?
Yeah, like Jellicoe, but a
Yeah.
woman. I would do that.
Man, I don't know.
Cuz like
It's hard
fucking
to like Jellicoe is the thing.
I know, but that's the thing. Like then you eventually are like, "Oh yeah, this captain knows what they're doing." I don't know.
I think I would like to have a female captain who's like much more adventurous and fun, who like
Like a
sees
Kirk?
like a Kirk, like somebody who sees like the fun in the adventure of what
Yeah,
they're doing.
I would like that too. That would be cool.
I think that would be really cool.
One who just like kind of is like, is this captain suicidal? Like that would be kind of fun.
How would you take advantage of it being animated? For instance, in Tartakovsky's Clone Wars shorts,
Heyo.
he reimagined the characters and creative narratives that could only be expressed through animation. On the other
Yeah.
hand, the real Star Trek animated series stayed closer to the tone and style of the live action stuff, so that's another option.
Well, Tartakovsky did what Last Jedi eventually would do and made it like a samurai.
That's
Like
true.
there's a lot of samurai, and he was doing Samurai Jack at the time too.
Mm-hmm.
So he was taking a lot of that Samurai Jack style and humor. There's a lot of really funny jokes in Clone Wars where you're like, holy shit, that's hilarious. I was thinking more like the Dave Filoni Clone Wars where it's like computer animated and like
And I would like it to be like hand animated, but I'm just like a bigger fan.
yeah, that's
hand
I know
animation.
you would like because you like that. I'm not saying that to be like yeah you like that,
Yeah,
but
you
like
like that dumb shit.
yeah, don't you like that stupid shit? But like, I think it's a lot easier from like a production standpoint to like computer animate stuff now. So like, I would be okay with that.
Star Trek always has like a big scale to it, but has trouble getting that across to the audience.
Yeah,
And like the action in Star Trek is like a little stunted by the fact that like
Yeah, the
you know,
budget and
it's
stuff.
the budget and like the small scale of like the way sets and stuff have to be.
well, that's what's great about the Dave Filoni Star Wars is like all that stuff is like. It's not going to cost anything to blow anything up.
mean,
So
like-
there's blow lots of stuff up. You know what I mean?
I feel like a Star Trek animated series could benefit from like the widening of scale to show you the scale that Star Trek is trying to show
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I agree.
And like the action scenes could be far more action packed without making them like turning all the characters into like martial artists and shit.
Yeah, turning all the characters into martial artists and then like randomly tilting the camera to like this crazy Dutch angle for no fucking
Absolutely
reason.
unnecessary.
Like, why are you doing that?
just the characters sometimes do like really awkward combat rolls or like just
Yeah.
or like do really slow punches because they're not really stunt
Right, they're not
people.
really fighters.
Just like
yeah.
speed up the motion, make it look cooler in the way they do it. I feel like you can show Trek the way it's meant to be seen or like meant to be taken in by the audience, but you don't
Yeah.
have to rely on the imagination of the audience so much.
Right. I agree. I'm into this. I would love that. I would love this. More Star Trek that isn't Discovery, please.
Yes.
Let's go.
Please pick up where TNG left off. People talk about Discovery getting like a very cold reception from the fandom. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's obviously like a portion of that that's like just people were going to be unhappy with whatever they got because
Yeah, no matter what.
new
Yeah.
Star Trek. I feel like there would have been a much better reception for Discovery if it was set after TNG.
Yeah,
you can accept changes and things being wildly different. And
Yeah, it's prequelitis. Like, it's hard to go back and. I mean, there's people who don't even know what universe it's set in, so... I mean, I don't really know, honestly. I guess it's set in the Prime universe. I have no fucking clue.
It is. It's set in the Prime universe. It shouldn't be. It doesn't make any sense.
It shouldn't be at all, but I guess I'm glad that it does. I don't know.
I mean, really, if the storylines would have engaged me in any way, like, I've seen the entire first season at this point. And if
Jeff,
the
Klingon titties.
Because, like, a couple friends of mine kept pushing me to watch more of it. So I sat down and just finished the season, and it never gripped me. I just kept getting angrier as I
I stopped... not to get off on this tangent, but I stopped at, like, episode 10, and I was like, I don't even care. I was like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, I cared none far before that, but I just wanted to get it out of the way so next time somebody's like, well, you didn't even finish it.
You didn't watch it, yeah.
I can be like, actually, I fucking did.
Also, like... I'm not fucking buying CBS All Access to suck my dick. Put it on fucking Netflix and I'll watch your whole show. Maybe do that.
Yo, like, I got it on Fire Stick. They got it on
Fire Stick. Yeah, on Amazon.
They got it on the Fire Stick. You don't pay money for that, Josh. I pirated it.
What?
I didn't, everybody. I would never.
Jeff!
I would never do that.
Me neither. I'm winking at the mic.
Yeah, me too. On a final note, I've got an alternate universe hypothetical for you Trek boys.
Oh, shit.
How do you think Star Trek would be different if the show started as a cartoon? Same vision and people working on it, but it was made with animation.
No.
I feel like Star Trek wouldn't exist anymore if that happened. Like, Star Trek would have been a one-off thing that nobody picked up on.
Part of the reason it stuck around even from, like, the early, like, TOS is because, like, the characters and the personalities who played the characters were so large. So, I don't think you can get that in a cartoon.
Like, Star Trek existed during a time when cartoons were thought of as, like, absolutely disposable media that would ever watch.
Dude, I mean, this is the era of Scooby-Doo and, like, Speed Buggy and, like, all this bullshit. Like, yeah, you don't want it to be a cartoon. And you don't.
The reason Star Trek... did so well is because adults and children watched it all the time.
Yeah. Adults weren't gonna watch Star Trek as a cartoon.
No, and
it's not like now. It's not like now.
And they didn't watch Star Trek as a cartoon, even like 10 years later or whatever.
Yeah, it was like 5 years later. It was pretty relatively soon.
And like they didn't watch it then, and that's why Star Trek the Animated Series didn't last that long.
I mean, it's good because it's so bad. So. It's like it. I don't know. We could talk about the animated series at another time, but there's a couple episodes where I'm like, all right, this is all right, and then it's like
we're gonna have to do like an animated series special and pick out some episodes about it. But
we're gonna do the Satan mini special where whenever there's a Satan in Star Trek. Almost said Star Wars. Jesus.
He gets into some thoughts that he had, like you would see way less humanoid aliens in popular culture because Star Trek played such a big role in how people see aliens.
They do that in the animated series too. They're like, well, here's this weird thing, but you know.
The problem is, like I said, like I just don't think Star Trek would have been popular in the same way.
They do that now. Like the first fucking shot of Discovery is they're on some like weird bug planet, and it's like, I don't care about these bugs. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, and they're breaking the Prime Directive, and nobody ever fucking mentions it.
They're breaking the Prime Directive, and like they're just like, well, we'll just walk around on this planet in broad daylight.
Go to this planet and save the eggs of these people that were gonna die in a flood or whatever. And I'm like, that's breaking the Prime Directive.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Whatever. No one on that show gives a fuck about the history of Star Trek in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, well, that's fucking what's his name for you. Goddamn fucking Alex Kurtzman, the worst piece of shit ever.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's not a piece of shit, but his writing is a piece of shit.
I'm sorry, Sam. I know that you were probably like, man, these guys are gonna have these really cool ideas about how Star Trek would be different. But I don't.
It would if
ideas. I just think it wouldn't have been popular.
It would if it was started now, because people like are way more receptive to that like type of storytelling now because of our generation. Because like we grew up like knowing that there could be good cartoons because there were.
Yeah, and I mean like cartoons,
but not in the 60s.
I don't watch a lot of cartoons anymore, but like a ton of my adult friends are like huge into cartoons, like
Oh my
Steven
God, like-
Universe and
Yeah, and like Netflix is cranking out cartoons. Like people are watching it. Like anime, they're getting into.
oh, yeah.
You know,
Anime is like the biggest
Yeah.
business in the world outside of Japan now. Ironically, dying industry in Japan, but the biggest
Yeah.
thing outside of it is anime.
Yep. Sorry, Japan.
Sam says that's all I got, but I hope this email finds you well. Good luck
That's a
on
great
whatever
email.
the next collection is.
Satan's.
It's Romulans for now, but it will be Satan's.
We're gonna have to actually do this.
We'll do it eventually.
It'll be funny, I think.
Our next email is from I'm Eric Fauchot.
Hi. Okay.
Who titled his email "You Them Trek Boys."
We is.
We them Trek Boys.
We them Trek boys.
He writes, "Hello, hi.
Kapla.
Thanks for watching all the Trek.
Thank you.
I've only seen TNG a few times, so having you cool dudes watch all the things and talk about it has been a good way for me to get introduced to and get informed about all the other Treks.
Nice.
I like it when you guys geek the fuck out and start talking Trek technobabble.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna get that kind of Trek universe building knowledge on my own. I don't have the patience for that shit. Look, I'm glad somebody likes it when we get off on those tangents.
Oh yeah, man. I can talk about that shit forever.
I don't know if we did in the last episode or not. I feel we probably did.
I don't remember. We talked about Batman.
We got off on like a really long tangent about like the nature of the Federation and what it means. But we do
That's
that
what
all the
I like.
time.
I like that more than the techno talk.
I do too.
Honestly, I like the geopolitical, like big galaxy wide talk.
It's my favorite thing to talk about too.
Me too.
I might be might be a part of a very small percentage of your listenership,
Yeah.
who wants to hear technobabble from you guys. But if you're interested, I'd like to suggest an episode or short series where you guys watch episodes that are heavy with Trek world building.
Ooh.
Throw that into the hat for the next drawing.
That's a good one.
I assume that's how you pick what you do next, with a hat.
Yeah.
I hear that's how the Electoral College does it.
Yeah, it's a magic hat that spits out like Harry Potter style, like a
Yeah.
flaming.
You put
like,
your hat on and it just yells out what the next collection is.
Yeah, Satan door.
And we're like, what?
All right. All right, hat. Calm down.
Are you better than the Electoral College? Yes. Yes, you are. Hat drawings are cool, though, especially if it's done with a cowboy hat. Data wore a cowboy hat once, and I know you ain't better than Data.
This might be my favorite email we've ever gotten. This is great.
Thanks for taking the time to read this tangent-filled garbage of an email. I appreciate you guys and hope you continue to have fun with this podcast.
Thank
See
you
you
for
later.
listening. That's great.
Thank you. I'm Eric Fauchot.
Faux show.
I appreciate your email and all the tangents in it.
I'll probably try to think of some more techno babble to talk about now.
Man,
Now that I know someone likes it.
as long as somebody out there wants to hear it, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Our next email is from Pezcorn.
I know Pezcorn.
Yeah, Pezcorn's cool. Hello, Trek boys.
Hello, Pezcorn.
Pezcorn. I want to preface this by saying there's a lot of email episodes and my memory sucks, so if you've already done this, too bad.
Oh,
I
wow.
haven't done one of these yet, so I figured I'd give it a shot. It's time for another Boston Sean Dupree's Pitch It or Ditch It.
Oh, shit.
He spelled your name wrong, Sean. I want to point that out for everybody.
What? How does Sean spell it?
S-E-A-N.
Oh, that way. Yeah.
Scene.
Scene.
It's the G off of Sean's.
The Joff of Sean.
Scene.
That's true.
I'm sorry,
Weird.
Sean. I don't mean that. We start out on a classic slow pan of the outside of the TNG Enterprise, and then cut into your average day aboard the starship. Everything is going fine until people start going missing. When the bodies are found, they are all torn apart, limb from
Oh,
limb, and
what the-
eviscerated.
What the fuck?
People are have you watched Star Trek, Pesco? Anyway, people are found jettisoned out of airlocks, and mangled bodies found teleported all around the ship.
What the fuck?
When no one
There's
else
that one episode where that lady gets beamed into the floor.
Oh god, that was terrifying.
That's fucking horrible.
When no one else is left alive, we cut to Data on the bridge, sitting down in the captain's chair. Slow zoom in on Data's face, smiling his goofy smile. Fade to white. Fade back in on Data's face, still smiling, while Picard and the judge argue over whether or not Data's an appliance in the background. Credits roll.
Oh my god. I'm gonna say I would pitch that as a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, I would pitch that as like a fan thing. That'd be hilarious as a fan thing.
Yeah.
I also wanted to let Jeff know my name isn't Bob. That's a fake name I made up when I was 15 and the internet was just a fad.
Wow, Bob, that's a great fake name, Pezcorn.
No one will know the difference.
Where did you ever come up with Bob, Pezcorn?
I was XXX Sephiroth 69 420. But you were with Bob, so who is the real cool guy in the end?
Only somebody who is old would make up a fake name called Bob. He must be an old person.
My real name is Devin. It's completely irrelevant and doesn't matter to anyone, but hey, it's my email. Deal with it.
With an I or an O? Because isn't female generally O and male
it's
I? Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
If he made up the name Bob, I would assume he's the guy, but...
Maybe, that's what I
know
would
what they say
too.
about assuming.
Yeah,
Makes an ass out of you.
Don't do it.
Not me, though. Just you.
Yeah, I'm never an ass.
Yours forever and always, Pezcorn.
Pezcorn Bob.
Thank you, Pezcorn. That was
Great
a
email.
beautiful email with a disturbing pitch it or ditch it in it.
Poor Data.
Our next email is from Rich,
Oh,
who
Rich.
titled his email, Well, she...
Well, she.
Ahoy, Trek boys.
Hello, Welshie.
And his name is Rich.
Oh, I mean Rich.
And bad Trek boys you are.
What?
I haven't been able to listen to the podcast for a few weeks, and when I come back, I see a horror show of episodes waiting for me.
Look, we didn't pick
Yeah,
them.
you guys voted on that shit.
Yeah,
we didn't
I
pick
didn't
it.
pick that shit.
I like to rewatch the episode before listening to the podcast to reacquaint myself, so these last few weeks have been pretty rough.
Yeah, you think?
Every time I finished an episode, I felt obliged to insist that there were 4 lights.
There are 4 lights.
What's worse is I fell for your hideous Terra Nova prank.
Yay!
I tip my hat to you.
Hey, April Fools.
Gotcha, bitch!
Yep.
So I know you get a lot of emails about Voyager, and let's face it, we all hate the show. But no one ever talks about what they really would have done to make it better. No, Josh, saying cancel it is not a legitimate response.
I wasn't gonna say that. I think you make. I don't know. You make the characters better. You just cast better characters first of all, like
I think you
better
just
actors. I
write
mean,
towards your character's strong suits and not just
Right.
try to like duplicate TNG with a different set of characters.
the whole like cast and like this is no like this is no like I don't know, like I'm not trying to say like they're all terrible actors because a lot of them are very good actors.
Yes.
Like what's her name? What is her fucking name? Oh my god, I'm like it's like super late.
Her name is fucking
Orange is the New Black.
Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew is great.
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew is a great actress.
But like I would start by making the cast different, and because you could get a lot more out of them. I think B'Elanna's pretty good. I would probably keep her, and the Doctor's amazing, even though he's like annoying.
He does get a little annoying.
He gets a little old, yeah. But you know, other than that, like story wise, like you just have to like
write stories that have something
Yeah.
to do with your setup in the
Yes.
series. Like they had a
Yeah.
perfect setup for like a billion stories. Like the ship
Yeah.
is made out of 2 factions who are completely at odds with one another.
right.
And
It's Battlestar
these
Galactica.
characters should hate each other's guts, and then they're
Yeah.
thrust into the absolute abyss of the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
And then they're the TNG crew suddenly, and they just go on adventures together.
Yeah, and they
retread adventures.
Yeah, and they pull that bullshit where they're like every other episode or something. There's like a way home, and it's like, oh my god,
completely unnecessary.
Stop.
They do that, and then the episodes in between are like, well, we're gonna have to be here a long time, so let's establish diplomatic relations with somebody.
Right, and it's like you're not gonna be there though. You're gonna move.
You just thought you were gonna be home yesterday. Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
The best part about that show is the Borg, and that whole show really, I think, centers around like the idea that the Borg are coming, which is great because like they know they're gonna have to go through the Borg to get home.
Yeah.
But again, like to get to that point, it's like
it's a slog.
Oh man, and then there's like the year of hell, and it's like it really does feel like a year of hell because like those episodes are fucking terrible.
He does have a pitch it or ditch it kind of idea for what Voyager should have been.
All right, we'll kind of pitch it or ditch it, I guess.
Voyager is still pursuing the Maquis and get dragged to the Badlands in the same way, but when they arrive, there are a literal ton of other ships from the Alpha Quadrant too. A Romulan Warbird, a Klingon Vorcha, a Gallard-class Cardassian ship, but they're all barely functioning and skeleton crewed after the array did so much damage to their systems, bringing them all to the Delta Quadrant.
Oh boy.
The episode would play out much the same, adding the deaths of a few more Federation crews and no Kess and Neelix. But at the end, a convoy of ships have come together as one in order to repair Voyager.
It's Battlestar Galactica.
And get her home, and with a crew made up of Romulans, Klingons, Cardassians, and Federation staff.
That's a great idea.
I think that is a great idea. That gives you so much of a chance to get into the heads of characters that are normally just one-dimensional villains.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I would pitch that. That's great.
The ship could be this weird hybrid of different technologies, but ultimately still a Federation ship, and why the captain would still be a Federation officer. Let's face it, the other races would vote her in simply because it's the enemy they hate least.
Right, they all hate each other.
Imagine the fun seeing a Klingon and Romulan have to interact daily and try to do their jobs.
Oh my god. They hate each other.
Much like Londo and G'Kar on Babylon 5.
Londo is the guy who has the Russian accent. I remember that. And G'Kar is the reptile guy.
I haven't watched that show in so fucking long.
That show was good. That was a good show.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty good.
Yeah, it got better like later.
Also, you wouldn't have the brainwashing of characters who abandon their ideals after 5 minutes of being on Voyager minus Seska, who should have stayed with the crew.
Yeah.
I realize that this is essentially taking Babylon 5, Star Trek, and Battlestar Galactica and blending them all together, but I really think it would work.
It's a way better idea than the current setup, you know?
Yeah.
The Federation has to struggle on a micro level with the struggles it has to deal with on a macro level at home. That's interesting. It's really interesting.
Really interesting. It wasn't part of the reason DS9 was so great is that they had this cordial Federation backbone. Characters were allowed to have conflict and tension. It wasn't Galactica levels by any means, but the characters had motivations that went beyond learning to sing, the Doctor, or being a domineering war criminal / catfish baby haver, Janeway. Add some of these principles to Voyager and you might have had a good show on your hands, and might also attract some good writers.
A war criminal? Because of the Borg?
/ catfish baby haver.
I mean, I'll stick up for Janeway and say I don't give a fuck what she does to the Borg.
Josh always goes to bat. She's not a war criminal because of what she does to the Borg. It's that she aids the Borg.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean,
against Species 8472, fuck those guys.
Wow.
They're fucking even crazier.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
Josh always goes to bat for Janeway. I'm like very middle of the road on Janeway.
I think she's the best part of that show. She's easily the best part of that show.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. She is the best part of the show.
Yeah. I'll take Janeway over, like, fucking, even Tuvok. Like, I like Tuvok, but, like, I don't know. I could do without Tuvok.
Tuvok is mostly just kind of, like, boring for most of the show.
What about when he turns into Tuvix?
Ditch it. Super ditch that episode if I
And they were
can.
like, we're making it. We already made the costume.
In closing, if fourth email doesn't prove how much I appreciate you magnificent bearded beasts, then I'll
Ooh.
say it. You guys are the best, and M-Class doesn't get nearly the amount of credit it deserves.
Oh, thank you.
Genuinely, it's rekindled a love of Star Trek that the JJ-verse and Discovery had attempted to snuff.
Oh, that makes me feel good.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Man. That means
Also,
a lot.
fuck those shows and
Yeah,
movies.
I agree. Fuck
Fuck those
J.J.
movies.
Abrams and fuck Discovery.
Yeah.
Also, I have to praise Jeff's thumbnails. They legitimately crack me up every time I see one, you funny son of a bitch.
Jeff sends them to me like in the middle of the day. Like I'll just get like a thing, like a DM, and I'll be like, "Oh, what's this?" And if I get a DM, it's Jeff. I know it's Jeff or Kevin. Those are the only two people who DM
Yeah.
me. And and so like I'm like, "Oh, here's the thumbnail," and I'll click on it, and the fucking catfish one, I like cackled. I like laughed really hard. I was like, "That's fucking perfect." You got like the camera angle right. Like that's amazing. I was like, "Look how stupid this fucking scene is,
Dude,
and look how funny it is."
I have no idea, but like, I was trying to figure out what to make the thumbnail, and it just hit me like lightning from the sky. Like, I have to
The
recreate.
Eagles hat on. He's got the Eagles hat.
Like, I have to recreate this scene perfectly. I have to put all this fucking effort into this thumbnail and recreate the scene.
It's so good. Oh my god.
We talked about that episode for 20 minutes and then spent 50 minutes talking about random other shit. But
I think he spent a day drawing that. Oh my god.
Thank you, though, Rich. I appreciate that.
That's great.
Living in the omnipresent fear of a global thermonuclear war that will cause the extinction of the human race, but might hopefully trigger the Cochrane-esque future we all need. Hopefully minus any two-dick aliens. Rich.
Oh, we're gonna run into some two-dick aliens.
for
Like
sure.
it's gonna happen.
P.S. I'm thinking of attempting to introduce my reluctant wife to Star Trek. I will keep you updated with my progress.
Oh yes, please do. I guarantee you she will like it. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
me not knowing anything about your wife or your lives together. I guarantee she'll like it.
I was lucky, man. Like, my wife was a fan of Star Trek for her whole life. Like, long before
Yeah.
she ever met me.
That's why you married her.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. I
Yeah.
know there are a lot of Star Trek fans that like completely miss the point of Star Trek and they're just like assholes or whatever.
That's fans of everything though.
But like hearing that someone legitimately loves Star Trek always like softens my initial opinion of them.
Oh yeah, I know exactly like the type of person that they are, and
Yeah.
I can deal with them. I can rationalize with this human being, you know.
Like I feel the same way when I learn somebody like Superman. Because
Yeah.
like so many people hate Superman that like you have to really understand the guy to like him.
Yeah, hating Superman is like super in though, right?
It's like a fucking like meme at this point. Like,
Yeah, well,
it's funny
what-
to
yeah.
hate Superman. I
yeah,
guess.
and it's
But
they can't beat Superman because he's too strong, so they have to knock him down a peg.
you can't beat Superman because he's too strong. Except all of his villains are stronger than him.
Like Lobo.
Lobo is great, but
Lobo's like my dad.
my favorite thing is that argument against Superman falls apart if you don't also like hate the Martian Manhunter's guts.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter like goes invisible.
He
for
has
shit.
all of Superman's powers, plus he can turn invisible and go through walls, and
Also, he can like put his tentacles in your brain and shit.
he has like
that's
mind
fucked
control
up.
powers and all this shit, and he has no weakness to kryptonite. So
Yeah. He's also Vulcan as fuck because he's boring as shit.
fuck you.
He's like, I don't know, the Martian Manhunter.
I like that guy, and I like Vulcans. So suck.
I
my
love
dick.
Vulcans too. I'm just kidding.
We also got a follow up email from Cheeto Puff
Okay, Cheeto Puff.
Nicole,
Yeah.
who says, "Howdy, Josh and Jeff. Yesterday,
Oh, this was the email. Yeah, I remember this email.
Yesterday I attended Yesterday I attended an academic research conference and did a presentation on Star Trek and applied some literary criticism to it. I had a full house, basically, and some of my professors were there as well as the dean of the English department. Damn.
What?
After I gave my presentation, I actually got a number of questions from the audience. It was super fun and exciting.
That sounds great.
I had a PowerPoint that included stills and clips from the episodes I talked about, but the script doesn't have them. I can share visual aids with you if you like too.
Yeah.
And she gave us the script, which I read through.
Okay, I didn't see it.
She
obviously.
said, I honestly don't know if the presentation was recorded on video or not, but if it was, I can get access to it. I'll let you know.
I would
Best
love
Nicole.
that. Thank you. I'm glad that it went well. That sounded like it was awesome, and I wish we could have like seen it.
Yeah,
if you
for
have it,
sure.
I would love to watch
I would
it.
have loved to have seen it. If you do
Yeah.
find a video of it, we'd love to see it. But I read through your script. The only problem I have with your script is the same problem I have with like everybody's idea of Star Trek, is that your version of Kirk doesn't exist.
Oh, it's like the womanizer Kirk.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's pop culture Kirk, and it does serve to like underline your point though, so I understand exactly why it was
Right.
used that way. But overall, it was a really great presentation, and I really
I'd love to
enjoyed
see
reading it. I'll pop a link over to Josh here.
Pop a link over to Josh.
Oh God,
What is this? Some kind of link? What, you giving me a link over here?
I'm giving you. Shut the fuck up. Here's your link.
What, are you popping some kind of link over here?
It's popping a link.
Google Docs open. All right, I'll read this later.
He'll read it later. Thank you, Nicole.
can't-
though.
I can't do three
I
things
really
at
did
once.
love your presentation.
Thank you. Great email.
I'm not gonna read it though, because it's like it takes 15 minutes to read. She said so.
The script?
Yes,
Oh no, I won't read it.
to like
now,
read it
yeah.
out loud. I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna
no,
read it
no,
out
no,
loud.
no.
Our next email is from Sean, but not any of the other Seans.
Okay.
He says, yes, an email from yet another Sean who listens to you, Trek Boys.
God damn, people stop naming your kid Sean.
You asked recently favorite alien species. I say the Romulans.
Oh, how appropriate.
He sent this before I announced what our thing was.
Oh,
as well.
there you go.
They're
you
like
go.
Vulcans, but ruthless, and know that they're dicks and don't care.
It's pretty sweet.
Plus, they have the coolest logo in all science fiction.
Their logo is dope as fuck.
It really is fucking cool.
I think the other, like a couple of weeks ago, like when football season was on, I saw a picture of the Falcons' new stadium, and they have like this fucking falcon out front that looks exactly like the Romulan like warbird, and I was like, where the fuck is this Romulus? Like it's like dark as fuck, dude. It's cool
That's
though.
awesome. I have a hard time ending emails. How about you? And then it stops. It stops at the Y. Thanks for that
right.
short but sweet email, Sean. We also love the Romulans.
I really have a soft spot in my heart for emails that are performance art.
I do too.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Our next email is from Jenna. Who
Hi, Jenna.
says, hey there, Trek boys.
Hello.
Maybe you guys can answer something for me with your big fat brains.
Oh, compliments.
The TNG episode Unification implies that Romulus and Vulcan are close together. I'm confused. I thought they were really far apart. I've checked online and nobody seems to have a consensus. Please enlighten.
I mean, I could draw it for you. They're relatively close
Like,
together.
they're
I mean,
relatively close, like, because they're both in the same quadrant.
yeah.
Like, the planets are close-ish. Like, there's
Yeah.
definitely a relative idea of what close is in Star Trek.
Yeah, how far zoomed into the galaxy are you, right? Like, it's...
Yeah. Like, Vulcan and
What
Romulus
scale are you at?
Vulcan and Romulus are closer together than Earth and Vulcan.
Do you really think? I don't know. I think Earth and Vulcan are 16 light years away.
I think Romulus...
I think Romulus is farther than Earth is.
you might be right.
Here,
you might be
like,
right. But yeah, there's no consensus online, is the thing.
Well, they never show it in a canon episode, so everyone
There's
sort
no
of extrapolates.
official map.
Yeah, I mean the STO map it's a little farther away than I even think it is in the STO map, but that's a video game. But the map that I usually picture in my head is like Earth, Sol, the sun, is on the line between the alpha and beta quadrants. And Vulcan is like in the beta quadrant a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then Romulus is like if you draw a line northeastwardly up a little bit, that's where Romulus is. And then the alpha quadrant is the alpha quadrant where like DS9 is and the Cardassia and all that shit.
Do they imply that Romulus and Vulcan are close together? I don't remember that.
Not really. I mean, no, I mean, not really. But like warp drive like makes all that sort of like irrelevant a lot of times because like
in TNG it absolutely does.
Yeah, like how fast are you going and like, you know, ships can go crazy fast so they get places fast. I don't know. They're not like super close together, but they're not like really, really far apart.
They're an easily travelable distance away from one
Yeah.
another.
Yeah, I'll try to find like a map and I'll put it somewhere, like a map that I like personally respect and like to follow.
Because
There's
the
tons of them.
Romulans are like, they left Vulcan to find their own world so that they can
Yeah.
march under the banner of the Raptor.
Yeah,
Which is a cool way to say it.
they
But-
worship swords too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Them bitches love swords.
I know I do, and I'm a bitch, so. But like,
I'm a
I think
bitch. I'm a Romulan. I'm a lover. I'm a fighter. I fucking butchered that.
that was the real song.
It was.
Well, they
That one
fucking
was-
they like march under their own banner and like leave the planet, but like nothing really says how long it took them to arrive at Romulus.
Yeah, and and like Vulcans have warp capability like a way long time ago.
Yeah, they
like,
had it before Sorok, so
Yeah, like it's just like they talk about that in Enterprise too, where like the one ambassador says to the Earth guy, what's his name? Fucking, he's in every Star Trek. I don't remember his name though. The Admiral. He's like, you have done in 90 years what it took us 1,000 years to do.
yeah.
And he's like that's something that we find disturbing.
I
he's
mean,
like,
I would too, really, but
he's like you're not supposed to do this, and like so they've had it for like a really long time, which means that they had it like when the Romulans left, so they could go pretty far, I would think. I'm trying to find like a good map here. This
Yeah,
map is huge.
Josh will post up a map onto our M class Twitter. How about that?
Yeah, this map's a little cartoony. I'm gonna find a better one.
We'll like tag it as like we had a question about the distance between Romulus and Vulcan or something.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to our next email for a little bit.
Yeah.
Our next email is from Steve Nemzik,
Hi, Steve.
who is back.
Hi,
says-
Steve.
He says, "Hey guys, what's your take on the retconning of stuff like in Enterprise where the Romulans are shown to have cloaking devices and warp drive and like an Enterprise minefield, but in the original canon they supposedly didn't have warp-capable craft like in TOS?
We talked about this last
Yeah.
episode.
I always found it hard to believe that a species would be capable of waging interstellar war without a warp drive.
Yeah.
Personally, I have no problem with retconning stuff as long as it makes sense."
I agree with that. 100%. Yeah.
Like, retconning isn't necessarily a bad thing. I've never thought it was. If it
Right,
makes things more clear and more, like, it makes it fit the narrative world better, then
Then
I'm
do
all
it.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. And Star Trek, like we talked about this in previous episodes, that Star Trek has been around so long that you're going to need to course correct like that every now and then, because you have literally different generations of people writing this shit. So
Yeah.
you have to like kind of fix the problems. I think it makes sense that they do have cloaking devices, because like why wouldn't they, right? Like
Yeah.
they're duplicitous. Like it makes perfect story sense for them to have that.
I agree.
I don't know.
I mean, I've never been a hater of retconning things if it makes better sense. I think
If it fixes
needless
something, yeah.
retconning is like stupid.
Agreed. Needless retconning is terrible.
There's a lot of needless retconning in comic books for absolutely no reason. Like, oh
Yeah.
shit, this contradicts the story I'm doing right now.
Right.
I'm not going to change my story. I'm going to change the history of this character
The whole
that's been around for
thing.
60 years.
Yeah, that's terrible. Like that's terrible.
You run into that problem a lot with, like, long-running media, though, where it's impossible to know the continuity of everything that came before.
Well, it's not impossible. It's more difficult, but like I think part of the failures of like new Trek is that they don't even try, because
Oh,
J.J.
yeah.
Abrams it doesn't care. Not to like harp on that again, but like that's a big example I can think of.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a difference between, like, a television series that's had, like, what, like 5 series or whatever, and is,
Yeah.
like, easily referenceable information everywhere,
Right.
and, like, a comic book series like Batman that's been running for 60 years.
yeah, that's more difficult.
I feel like the Star Trek writers don't have that much of an issue with the continuity, especially like people now that are supposed to be fans of Star Trek that are writing it. Like, you should know better than all these, like, pointless retcons you're making.
Well, that's why I'm gonna go to bat for STO again. Is like these are fans who like in the new upcoming expansion, like they had a whole like live stream where the guy who like was in charge of redesigning Deep Space Nine was like, I watched like every episode of Deep Space Nine again.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wanted everything to be perfect. And like, I respect the fuck out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That's like, there are two sides to having fans take over things.
yeah.
You have like the good side with like STO, where like these people pour their heart and soul into this to give you as close to an experience of being in the show as you possibly can.
Right.
And then you have the other side that happens in like comics all the time, where these people come in and they're like, I could write this better than fucking Jack Kirby.
Right.
I can write this shit better than Stan Lee did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, that might be true, but like you're just shitting all over the legacy of what came before. But whatever, that's a whole other thing.
There's fans who like follow that certain line of like respect and like respecting the source material, and then there's fans who are just like, well, I can do it better. It's like, well, can you though?
You can respect the source material and make something wildly different at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, the Marvel movies catch shit from like super hardcore fans for changing continuity and everything.
Yeah, but comic books change continuity like every fucking day.
But like for the most part, the movies change continuity in like new and interesting and fun ways. So
yeah, I'm fine with them like
all.
Yeah, I'm fine with them changing the colors of the stones. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think. Well, I'm sure there are people that care.
Well, the yellow stone's actually the stone the Tesseract is in, and blah 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 blah.
I mean, I'm sure there are people that are like that, but I feel like that's a very small percentage of even like the people who are complaining about.
But the internet, Jeff.
It's true. Marvel movies are kind of like safe, middle of the road movies for the most part, but. They do a good job of bringing comics to the screen in a way that appeals to everybody.
Yeah.
Unlike Star Trek Discovery.
Yep.
And apparently unlike JJ Trek, since that's over. So.
Yeah, he's on the roading Star Wars now, so.
Good. No, I'm kidding.
This map is actually like, I'm looking at a map right now, and it's actually much closer on this map.
Yeah, the maps are all like super different.
There's a few that, like, the one I usually follow, it's a little farther away, but this one's, like, pretty close. I'll put them up. I'll fucking figure it
out. We have one last email tonight.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for writing in, by the way, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Great email.
We have one last email tonight. It is from Boston Sean Dupree.
Oh, the legend.
The legend himself.
Our presence.
Who says, Trek folk.
That's like a very Hobbit. Like Trek folk.
The Trek folk. Big fan of the Alpha Trek boy here. I guess that's me. I love this episode. TOS can be a bit clunky at times, and Spock accidentally hitting the alarm certainly qualifies.
There you go.
But overall, a great theme. Reminds me of so many submarine movies.
Yeah.
For sure. I had a
Hunt for Red
question.
October. I love that movie.
How do you feel about the remastered TOS editions that they stream on Netflix? I think they're
We
great,
talked about this before.
but I do wish they kept the original opening, he says.
That's how you feel about it, right? You like the original. And
I like
there
the
is
original because there's like a definite clash of the new effects in the original footage that takes me out of the episode every time it happens.
So in this episode, I noticed in Balance of Terror, they put in new effects in the bridge.
Oh, they do that all the time.
Yeah, I didn't know they did that. And like I'm fine with it, honestly, because like I don't have that attachment to TOS like you guys do. But I understand like wanting to keep it like
it's not
original.
It's not so much that it's a detriment to the viewing experience, I think. Like there's a scene in this episode where it shows the comet with its tail behind it, and it's just like ethereal CGI effect that like
It looks like it doesn't belong there.
Yeah, and then it cuts to the bridge, and
Which
it's
is
like
like
grainy '60s
like
footage.
cardboardy. Yeah.
I'm like, and it just took me immediately out of the episode.
One of my favorite things in Star Trek Online is when you roll Agents of Yesterday character, which is the original series character. Mm-hmm. Everything you do is in that grainy look. Like they filter the game so it looks like that.
That's
and
great.
I was like, all right, that's really cool. So like I get like liking that. The ships look better. So like I don't know. Like I don't know.
I don't know. There's like a freedom of movement that they didn't have with the ships in the original.
Yeah,
spec.
the original
It's a
effects
mixed
are.
bag, I think.
I think they do okay with it. I'm fine with it. I would like it would be nice like if Netflix had an option of like watching just like the strictly old footage episodes. I'd be
feel
cool with
like
that too.
It's like a needless change. I talked about that in the last few emails.
Yeah.
Like, it is an absolutely needless change to this. You're not going to get new young kids who hate old sci-fi effects to watch Star Trek, the original series.
Yeah, I guess that is like the way that they think about it though, right? Like it must be. They must be like, well, we have to like keep it interesting. But like, I mean, do you? I don't know.
I don't hate it or anything. Like
Yeah.
I may have the first time I saw it hated it, but at this point I'm just like it's unnecessary. It sort of it takes me out of the episode when I see
notice it. I notice it just because like I know like it's impossible for them to have done that in 1966. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this?
But,
like,
I mean, if people like it, that's fine.
I don't think people who generally like. I'm giving people way less credit, maybe, but like I don't think people would even realize what was happening. Honestly,
Maybe not.
they would be like, "Oh, look, it's a ship." Like they don't know.
I've heard people say that they have only seen that version and they saw like the original version later and they thought it was terrible and couldn't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, because
I've
the
always
ships
thought,
fly
like,
weird.
If you're that much of like I have to have like more modern special effects or I don't like the show kind of thing, I'm not sure TOS is really going to be your cup of tea anyway.
Yeah, TOS wasn't about the ships so much. Like it wasn't about like here's a cool shot of the ship.
Here's the thing: is like no Star Trek was ever actually
No, not even DS9 when they had cool shots of ships all the time.
Like, none of these shows have ever been about the ships, which is like, I don't know. There's this weird correlation. It's not causation. It's correlation that I noticed between people who are like super into the ships on Star Trek
Yeah.
and the people who are like, I don't want no SJW shit in my Star Trek.
It's like in Cars or something.
Yeah, there's no causation between it, but I've noticed that
Right.
a lot of those
There's
types of
a
people are
correlation.
like big like ship fans.
I love the ships in Star Trek. I
I
love
do
the
too.
idea that like the ships like ship design and like the I think I talked about this before, like the fleet modernization push to
Yeah.
like make these more modern Starfleet ships. Like I think that's really fucking cool.
I like the ships
like-
in Star Trek too a lot. Like,
Yeah, but, like,
one
you
of my
don't-
favorite things in Star Trek mythology is the development from Enterprise to Enterprise E of
Yeah.
the ships, one after
It's
another.
cool. The guy who did the F, which is the video game Enterprise, he wrote an article I read about how like he was getting like like death threats because he designed the Enterprise like the way it is, and it's pretty interesting how much people love that fucking ship. I think the F looks great. There, you can find a
I've
picture
seen
of
the
it.
F. It's like a much more like
It's a
alien-looking E.
It's a sleeker E, yeah. It's like a Ferrari'd up E.
And like on my desk right now, I have two models, one of the A and one of the D. So
Yeah.
I love the ships in Star Trek. I just think that people who only care about them are a little.
No, I know what you're saying. You don't need to. I don't know.
You can
I
like
don't
whatever you want in Star Trek, by the way.
accept the Vulcans.
Aw. So, guess what
Go
Sean
ahead.
Dupree has for us?
Oh no! Are we getting one? Uh-oh.
We're getting some straight from the horse's mouth. Boston Sean,
Oh!
pitch it or ditch it.
Oh!
Number one, Voyager. Wait, hear me out.
They know us.
Q decides to fuck with Riker again and sends him back to Voyager again. But this time,
that's pretty good joke in that show. I do like that joke.
But this time, he and Tom Paris start a ska band. You know what? Make it Tom Riker, and we'll call the episode Two Toms Skankin'.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm going to pitch it because I love the 90s, so.
I would love to see Tom Paris trying to tell someone what a ska band is in the years, in like the fucking far-flung future.
And then he gives up and he's like, it's shitty jazz, all right? It's just shitty jazz. It's like punk rock jazz.
What's punk rock? What?
That's not even like, it's like syncopated. It's got like, that's upbeat. It's like kind of punk.
It all sounds pretty similar too, really.
It's like reggae. It's also like reggae.
Yeah, it is.
It all comes from like the same fucking shit.
I like ska.
I am not a fan of ska, but I do not dislike ska.
You can get the fuck off my.
I like Save
there.
Ferris. Remember that band Save Ferris?
Yeah, I do remember Save Ferris.
They were good.
Do you know that band still exists and it's literally just the lead singer?
Oh, that makes sense. I met Real Big Fish one time. That was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Save Ferris is the one with like the girl lead singer, right? I'm thinking about the right one.
Yeah,
she broke up with the band. Like the band broke up, right? I read about this a little while ago because I was learning about ska.
Welcome to the Save Ferris cast.
Yeah. So she broke up, like the band broke up, and everyone else in the band formed another band. So I wonder what happened, huh?
Yeah,
I wonder who is at fault here.
I don't know. That's not a good sign.
Anyway, number 2, Next Gen. Someone just edits Best of Both Worlds and replaces the Borg cubes with Game Cubes and replaces all the Borg with Waluigis. Not really an episode, just something I want to see.
Well, I mean, I can't ditch it. It's like your dream.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not going to destroy your dream.
Yeah, I'm not going to shit on your really weird dream.
By the way, ditch that Two Tom Skankin' episode, by the way. Number 3, DS9. Odo needs to know what Quark is up to and transforms himself into a glass of wine.
Why not a bag? He loves being bags.
It turns out Quark is up to nothing. He's just having a dinner with Rom. Rom drinks Odo and remarks about how ill he feels.
He would never have dinner with Rom, so automatically, no.
Quark quickly surveys the room for signs of poison and realizes that there's an extra glass on his tray and quickly decides that Rom really deserves a vacation. Puts him on the next unmanned shuttle to Risa. Now Quark has a few days to get all of his shady businesses attended to. Odo comes back pissed, literally, as all hell in a couple days.
Why wouldn't he just be able to come out of his mouth again?
I don't know.
You had to wait to poop him out or pee him out or something?
I don't know. Quark smugly reminds him that his form of surveillance wasn't exactly up to Federation standards, and really, Quark didn't do anything wrong as far as Odo knows. I'm gonna ditch this because a character gets pissed out of a dick in it, and I don't want to see that.
I only pitch shows where characters get pissed out of 2 dicks.
How many dicks does Rom have?
Imagine me holding a cigar in my mouth. Come back when you give this guy 2 dicks. That's what the kids want these days, 2 dicks.
You want to be in the big leagues, kid, you better give this guy 2 dicks.
Star Trek's changing, kid. We need something with 2 dicks on it.
It's a different market out there, boys. You can't just put 1 dick on your spacemen.
Trump's president. We need 2 dicks.
Number 4, this fall to the Nintendo Switch, Phoenix Wright, Starfleet Attorney.
You're just referencing Nintendo things.
That's a lot. A lot of this is Nintendo things.
This isn't the Nintendo cast. This is the Star Trek M-Class podcast.
Thanks, and as always, wham, wham, wham. I don't know what I'm supposed to.
It's Waluigi. Right?
Okay.
Right, that's what he does, right?
All right, well, delete this email.
For shot.
That's all the emails we have tonight on M-Class Podcast.
Oh my goodness.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you except Sean who wrote into us tonight.
I'm gonna thank you, Sean.
Sean.
I understood your Waluario reference.
Waluario.
I guess it's Wario, right? Is Wario the one who does that?
Waluigi does it. They all do.
Does he
it.
also?
Fucking
I don't know.
Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi.
I only ever played Mario Party. Is that the only thing he's in? I don't know.
Waluigi?
What else is?
He's
Yeah.
in
What else?
Mario Kart and like
Oh yeah, Mario Kart. Yeah. Of course.
like the sports games and shit. He's
Yeah, but
never
he's
been in
not-
a real Mario.
yeah, he doesn't have like a real Mario game. Yeah.
No. There's a lot of characters like that in Mario who've just never been in
fuck
a real
him.
Mario game.
Fuck Waluigi, dude. Fuck that guy.
I don't actually like Waluigi very much.
Nobody
because,
does.
Like, he's a big weird meme now.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I mean, whatever. He's okay.
I mean, whatever.
He's okay.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, it's fun to do this podcast with you guys.
I love it.
I have a great time answering your pitch it or ditch it's and your questions and reading your comments. And I just want to tell you that I appreciate you, each and every one of you.
I love you too, friends.
And this show literally wouldn't exist without you. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, thank you.
That was sincere. Josh, thank you for doing a podcast with me.
Well, thank you for doing one with me.
And, if you at home would like to have your emails read on this podcast, you could send it on in to mclassemail@gmail.com. No S.
Fuck yeah, do it.
Or you can follow us at mclasspodcast on Twitter, where Josh will be posting up some pictures of map fairly soon.
I'm gonna do it right after I'm done here. I'm just reading. I found an article about 2 Star Trek movies that are gonna be made.
What? What are they?
I don't know. Let me read it. I just saw it just now. This is breaking news a week ago.
Breaking news! It's the one that fucking what's his face is doing, right? The one that fucking Tarantino. is doing.
Tarantino? I don't know. I haven't seen yet.
Patrick Stewart was smart about that shit, though, right? He came out and he was like, "I love Tarantino's ideas for movies for Star Trek.
Let me be in Star Trek again.
I'd be in one, Mr. Tarantino."
I would love that. I honestly, I wouldn't think it would be that bad, but I like Quentin Tarantino, so
Like, I like
don't-
Quentin Tarantino a lot too, but like the shit he's been saying about the movie is like putting my teeth on edge. He's like, it's gonna be a hard R.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it just
Yeah.
can't be hard R.
He's like, it's gonna be a hard R, and it's gonna have like stuff in it you never thought you'd see in a Star
Like
Trek.
2 dicks.
No, we already saw that in Star Trek.
Now this Quentin Tarantino fella, he gets it.
There's gonna be shit you never thought you'd see, like 3 dicks. And then Discovery's like, oh yeah, well fucking Bolian's got 4 dicks now. Fuck you.
They can't grow hair, but they can grow 4 dicks.
Fucking Benzite's got 8 dicks. Deal with that shit, Tarantino.
No, you're giving them way too much credit. They would just invent another stupid alien that looks like every other dumb alien that they
Yeah,
make.
that's true.
That's what the new Klingons are. They're like just aliens. Like, look at this alien.
Isn't he creepy and weird?
They look different because different things.
There's that whole like argument that it has like merit. It has like a merit in reality that I can't fucking deny or whatever. The like Klingons are like blackface.
I mean,
That's the thing is
guess.
like it has merit that I can't say anything against, but it's like
right,
that's
but they're
not-
only blackface because like that's the color of like what black people are, but like Bolians aren't in blue face. Like every Bolian is blue.
It's like a really weird topic to broach because it's not
It's
like
tough. It's tough.
It's not like anyone was ever like, let's make these characters are supposed to be black.
Right. It doesn't feel like that anyway,
And I mean,
so I don't.
TNG does, like, every series from TNG onward mostly has black people play Klingons. So
Yeah, they had that one basketball guy. I
So
forget. Who,
like, some of the, like, bigger name ones are white guys, though, so I guess it still exists. But, I mean, they did make up shit to make them different, but they didn't give them weird, elongated skulls.
I think it's like a little bit like maybe not blackface. Like I get what you're saying.
I don't think it's blackface either, but I guess, like, who the fuck are we to say?
Right, I'm not one to say. You're
Yeah.
right. I don't know. Maybe
Who
it
the
is
fuck are we to
offensive. I
say,
don't know.
right? I can't wait to get the comment about this. Fucking PC liberals!
Or the other comment where we weren't negative,
We're like-
we weren't harsh enough on it.
Yeah,
That could happen too.
We're racist pieces of shit.
Yeah.
One or the other.
The internet's fun to work on.
I love the internet, everybody.
All right, let's go to bed.
Yeah, we're not actually going to talk about any news about Star Trek, everybody, so go fuck yourself.
Read it yourself. It's on trekmovie.com. I don't know. I just saw it. I just clicked
It
on
was
it. I
up
was
on
on Twitter.
trekmovie.com a week ago, so it'll still be there.
It'll be there. April 25th. That's when we're doing this.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week for some more M Class.
Bye.
Peace.